With all the talk about more money for Arizona schools next year, you wonder how this got overlooked. The state superintendent worried teachers won't get paid at all. She says the governor's budget didn't give her IT money, zero, after $7 million last year. She's now sounding the alarm, saying she needs computers, repair, software development, and dozens of IT workers. Without it, she can't calculate state aid to school districts.
The money will never get to the classrooms if we don't have the IT system to get it to the classrooms. And quite frankly, this is routine operations money that is desperately needed.
The governor's office now promising to get the funding issue resolved, saying there won't be any issues with payments.
Sanctuary cities, they've been a hot topic of debate, and that's no exception even right here in the Valley. So tomorrow, the Phoenix City Council will address a citizens petition, which asks council members to decide whether to designate Phoenix as a sanctuary city. As of right now, it seems likely the council will simply decide not to vote on the issue at all.
President Trump's national security advisor is out of a job because of his phone calls with a top Russian diplomat. But Russia still remains a core topic that lawmakers and the feds are looking into. They want to know what role the country played during our election. Meantime, Russia calls Flynn's resignation anti-Russian paranoia in the U.S. The White House saying Michael Flynn was forced to resign after he misled Vice President Mike Pence. For now, General Keith Kellogg will serve as acting national security advisor. But one of the names being floated out there for a permanent replacement, retired General David Petraeus. This might not be the only scandal the White House will have to handle in the next coming days. The government's ethics office is now recommending an investigation into Kellyanne Conway after she endorsed Ivanka Trump's fashion line during a TV interview. Just last week, the White House said Conway had been counseled but did not elaborate.
Flying can be as stressful on humans as it can on pets. And tonight, one woman is blaming an airline for her dog's death.
A veteran admits some of the backlash really hurts why he's been flying the American flag upside down for almost a month.
Well, we could all go for random acts of kindness. The developers of a new app touting kids can be more compassionate by playing just one game.
And I'm tracking a few spotty showers east of the valley right now, but that's nothing compared to what I'm tracking for your weekend. What you need to know about our next storm ahead in your forecast.
Let Joe know. Watch him weeknights at 6 on ABC 15 News.
We are CenturyLink. We believe in the power of the digital world. The power to connect small towns, big cities, and even bigger dreams. And that's what drives us every day. CenturyLink.
Reliable information helps all of us make smarter decisions. But it's a new day out there. Fake news sites are actually fueling misinformation. So where you get your news matters. At ABC 15, we're taking action to keep you better informed with accurate news you can trust. We take the time to check sources because reliable information is important to all of us. We are ABC 15 News, taking action.
Predators better pray.
Crime Watch Daily, weekdays at 3 on ABC 15.
Every day, more than a dozen kids across Arizona go into foster care, leaving behind their families, homes, and everything they've ever known. It breaks your heart, and that is why ABC 15 and American Furniture Warehouse are taking action for foster kids. Donate personal items like new blankets and socks, small things that can make a new home a little less scary. You can drop them off with our partners at American Furniture Warehouse in Glendale and Gilbert. To learn more or to donate money directly to help foster kids, go to abc15.com/kids.
Do you have the right tools to meet your financial goals? Desert Schools is teaming up with ABC 15 to bring you the Financial Fitness Zone.
Go to abc15.com/finance. You'll find practical information and smart ideas to help keep you on track.
Desert Schools, we're here for you.
Viral videos right this minute.
What is that? It's a wild thing. It's a weird thing. A fail thing. A crazy thing.
A light up the internet thing.
It's just fantastic.
It's the right thing. Oh yeah, it's going viral.
Right this minute, America's daily viral video show.
Weekdays at
Flying can be stressful. Layovers can make it even worse. And those two things are what one woman says led to her dog's death. New tonight, Kathleen Considine says her dog Jacob died hours after he arrived in Portland, Oregon for a connecting flight. Considine says United Airlines told her her 7-year-old golden retriever's crate would fit in both planes, but that wasn't the case on the second flight, and that created a major delay.
They didn't check in originally. They just assumed, I suppose, that he would fit onto that second flight, and he didn't, and that's what caused the 20-hour layover in Chicago.
So United Airlines officials admit they made a mistake when they told her that Jacob would fit. However, the airline says that they are not responsible for Jacob's death. Considine's vet says Jacob died from bloat, which is brought on by stress.
A veteran says he's not giving up on his message, even though his post-election protest is making others angry. He's flying the American flag at his Long Island home upside down, traditionally a sign of distress. James Klein says he's had to buy some new flags since the original one was cut down and stolen. He says he can handle the vandals, but he says comments from his fellow veterans are what hurt the most.
And the veterans don't understand. When they raise their hand, they wanted to uphold the Constitution. This is my constitutional right to do this. And the veterans just don't understand that.
Klein believes President Trump is dangerous for the country. He tells people he's not disrespecting the flag, he's disrespecting the president.
A warning put out more than a decade ago about the damaged dam in Northern California.
Valentine's Day without chocolates and champagne? Say it isn't so. Why the future of these two favorites may have nothing to do with your date.
After all the turmoil and social media ugliness, we have a Michael Floyd update you won't want to miss. He's the topic of tonight's Fooey on Sports.
It's ABC 15's Fabulous Feb 10K giveaway. Watch ABC 15 mornings for your chance to win $500. We're going to be picking 2 winners a day. Just look for my secret word tomorrow on ABC 15 mornings.
Your hard-earned cash. I'm ABC 15 investigator Joe Ducey, and I've got your back.
Consumer problem? Let Joe know. Watch him weeknights at 6 on ABC 15 News.
We are CenturyLink. We believe in the power of the digital world. The power to connect small towns, big cities, and even bigger dreams. And that's what drives us every day. CenturyLink.
Reliable information helps all of us make smarter decisions. But it's a new day out there. Fake news sites are actually fueling misinformation. So where you get your news matters. At ABC 15, we're taking action to keep you better informed with accurate news you can trust. We take the time to check sources because reliable information is important to all of us. We are ABC 15 News, taking action.
Predators better pray.
Crime Watch Daily, weekdays at 3 on ABC 15.
Every day, more than a dozen kids across Arizona go into foster care, leaving behind their families, homes, and everything they've ever known. It breaks your heart. And that is why ABC 15 and American Furniture Warehouse are taking action for foster kids. Donate personal items like new blankets and socks, small things that can make a new home a little less scary. You can drop them off with our partners at American Furniture Warehouse in Glendale and Gilbert. To learn more or to donate money directly to help foster kids, go to abc15.com/kids.
Do you have the right tools to meet your financial goals? Desert Schools is teaming up with ABC 15 to bring you the Financial Fitness Zone.
Go to abc15.com/finance. You'll find practical information and smart ideas to help keep you on track.
Desert Schools, we're here for you.
Viral videos right this minute.
What is that? It's a wild thing. It's a weird thing. A failed thing. A crazy thing.
A light up the internet thing.
It's just fantastic.
It's the right.
Well, the damage is not getting any worse, so that's the good news right now. And tonight, families are going back home after they were evacuated days ago because of this damaged dam in Oroville, California, I should say. Inspectors just ran some tests. They say there's no further erosion. They believe the dam will hold up when a new round of storms hits tomorrow and Thursday. And now get this, the red flags went up almost 12 years ago. Court documents showing 3 environmental groups filed a complaint with the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission saying the dam's emergency spillway was not properly built.
The man who will lead the Department of Veterans Affairs just sworn in tonight in Washington, D.C., the Senate confirming David Shulkin's nomination yesterday. The 57-year-old physician is the first non-veteran to head the department. He's got a lot on his plate, and the Valley will be watching closely after those long wait times were first exposed here. President Trump has been critical of NAFTA, and that's led to concerns about a trade war. And it could all start with corn. One Mexican lawmaker wants to introduce a bill to buy corn from Brazil and Argentina instead of the U.S. Now, to put all of this in perspective, Mexico bought $2.4 billion worth of corn from the U.S. in 2015. And U.S. corn exports to Mexico have increased more than 600% since NAFTA was enacted in 1994.
Well, you're going to want to hear this incredible love story. Married for 72 years, a Phoenix couple celebrating a big milestone this Valentine's Day. And it's been quite a ride, they say. ABC 15's Sonu Wasu tells us how a U.S. airman and his bride are still keeping the spark alive more than 7 decades after they said I do.
This is a love story that blossomed at the height of the war, 1945, a U.S. staff sergeant and the girl next door.
I knew he was there, but I didn't want to be flirtatious and wave or anything.
Well, I wanted to see you too. So your younger brother said you were making donuts in the kitchen across the street.
Things got real when Moore went off to serve his country and went missing in action. His B-17 became disabled. The whole crew had to bail out. This faded telegram the family received, a dagger to the heart.
I was devastated.
But Robert survived. And it was the start of a new life as husband and wife. 72 long years, a love that has survived the war, the death of a child, financial hardships, and maybe a few tiffs here and there.
You never help around the kitchen and clean things up.
In this day and age when couples give up so quickly, we asked them, how do you make it work?
I think we tried before we went to sleep at night to settle things.
In your head, swallow your pride and do what you're told.
Just don't be too proud to say I was wrong.
Today, the home is decorated with flowers, even a letter from the White House congratulating them. And they're just as much in love as they were 72 years ago.
I just idolize Bob. I'm sorry, I don't, it's just my feeling.
I just feel like I don't know how I'd get along without her.
Sonu Wasu, ABC 15.
Good advice, living the dream.